This government shutdown is absolutely ridiculous. Now, guys, the other day, Trump made a statement about how some federal workers that are a part of the shutdown are being furloughed or laid off, whatever it is, that they don't deserve back pay. Now, I've watched a couple of videos. I think it was Alan Graham, right? This clown on Instagram states that no, sorry, he watched a video where people were getting kicked out of their jobs. Whatever government agency it was, people get kicked out, and people are clapping and yay and all this other bullshit. I'm like, listen, workers for the federal government are American citizens, no matter how you slice it. And yes, some of them were not pretty cool in their position. But let's take that out of the mix for a second. And let's talk about the fact that this is screwing over a lot of, again, American citizens that work for the federal government. Now, I find it interesting, guys, that both parties, the Democrats and the Republican, don't care. They don't give a shit about any of the people that work in the field. Keep in mind, politicians are okay with this because these people are worth a few $1,000,000. Now, not all of them, but a lot of them are. And again, when you sit there and tell the American public that some federal workers don't deserve back pay, what kind of nonsense is that? Listen, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you agree with their politics or not, to sit there and say federal workers don't deserve, meanwhile, your enemies, if you will, that are up your ass and behind your back, and I'm talking about Trump's enemies, are making millions of dollars with all of these illegal things they got going on that they made legal because they penned things a certain way, they wrote contracts out a certain way, they changed laws for them, they did all of this nonsense to make sure that these people are worth money. Now, what's the name? Ilhan Omar, right? This jerk off right here. This chick is worth $30 million now. She came into the system broke, poor, and now she's worth $30 million. Why is that? Why are a lot of these politicians worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars? Why is that? But meanwhile, you look at a federal worker, again, good, bad, or indifferent, and you're telling them they don't work back pay, but it's okay for these people to make millions of dollars. And again, politicians are not affected by this. Now, some low-level politicians might be, but if I'm not mistaken, they don't get furloughed. If I'm not mistaken, they don't take a pay cut. But the federal worker who's 9 to 5 every day, whether that's from home or at an office, is now being affected by this. And they are being screwed over royally. Because now imagine telling these workers, you're not getting paid, and you're not getting back pay. Now, a lot of these people are going to be out of office for a while. And I think there's a connection between the Epstein file vote and the shutdown. That's a different video. But nonetheless, these people are being affected. These people also, a lot of them, can't get a second job. So they're being furloughed, meaning they have to go into work, they have to report to an office, but they can't take a second gig. So they can't make money. So they're being punished all the way around. Meanwhile, politicians are not. Again, Pelosi's worth a few $1,000,000 herself. A lot of these guys are worth a few $1,000,000, but they can fall back on that. They don't have to worry about it. Even if they didn't take a paycheck, they get to fall back on the millions that they're making on the backs of whatever illegal nonsense they're doing. But meanwhile, somebody who's coming in 9 to 5, loves their job, might not love their job. Now they're not getting a paycheck for a few weeks. And if they go back to work, they're not getting back pay. So a lot of these people can't pay their bills. They can't pay rent. They can't buy food. Probably in a couple of weeks they can't buy food. And I know some of you assholes out there are like, they should have saved their money. It's not the fucking point. The point is that the American worker shouldn't have to suffer because politicians can't get on the same page about whatever bullshit it is. That's the crazy shit. And the fact that the Democrats sit there and go, well, the Republicans are not for the American people because they're allowing this to happen. So are you. That's the craziness about it, guys. The Republicans and Democrats, we all know, are fucking two wings of the same bird. And they're sitting there pretending to fight one another. Meanwhile, they're screwing over people, hundreds of thousands of people, because they're not getting paid anymore. They're on furlough. They have to report in the work so that they don't get, which is bizarre. A lot of these people work from home. They work from home, And all of a sudden this happens. Now they're being furloughed and they have to come into work so that they don't grab a side job and make money. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's against rules or regulations or something like that, which is bizarre, because these people are going to suffer if this thing goes on longer than 2 weeks. In some cases, if it goes on longer than a month, a lot of these people are screwed. So then they're probably going to have to quit their job and look for something else. Which, listen, if I was being furloughed, I'd be looking for something else. I'd be like, you know what, enough of this. You know, I might be losing my job, or not. I might not be getting a paycheck because two groups of people can't get together and get this shit right. So it's affecting the federal workers, who a lot of them are like, what the hell am I going to do? Especially if you have to go into work. Now, some of those guys that don't have to go into work, they're being furloughed and they don't have to go into work. Some of those can get some side work, and I'm pretty sure they won't report it. But there are others who are not getting paid and have to report to work, and now they can't get a side job, and they have to fucking suffer because they're not getting a paycheck. Now what are they going to do? Again, guys, this is all bullshit. I've never seen such bullshit in my entire life. And when you start looking at American citizens, you start affecting their livelihood because you can't get it together. It's bullshit. Meanwhile, you could send millions of dollars to Israel. You could send millions of dollars to India. You could pay some poor kid, some poor transgender kid in Nairobi or Zaire or some fucking African nation. That's fine. But you can't pay your own people. There's an issue. Other than that, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth Channel.